the ultimate guide to wealth creation. Every method ever known. Imagine waking up one day, checking your bank account and seeing millions of dollars just sitting there. Not only that, but it's growing day after day without you having to lift a finger. Sounds like something out of a movie, right? Like some far-fetched fantasy? Well, believe it or not, this is exactly how the wealthiest people in history have built their fortunes. The thing is, most people think building this level of wealth is about getting lucky or inheriting a ton of money. But the truth is, it's about understanding the systems that make people wealthy, and those systems have been around for centuries. From the Roman Empire to the rise of Wall Street to the tech boom of Silicon Valley, and now with the explosion of crypto and AI, there are specific, repeatable strategies that create lasting wealth. And today, I'm going to break them all down for you. We're diving deep into the history of wealth creation, exploring every single method humans have used to build fortunes, from the ancient world to modern times. So buckle up, smash that like button, and get ready to learn how to build your own financial empire. Now, before we get into the world of stocks, bonds, and fancy financial instruments, we need to start with the basics. And I mean really basic. We're talking about the ways people built wealth before stock markets even existed. Before Bitcoin, before paper money, even before banks. Back then, wealth was all about what you could hold in your hand, what you could see and touch. We're talking about hard assets, and they're still just as relevant today as they were centuries ago. So, what exactly are hard assets? Well, think about the things that have always held value, no matter what the economy is doing. Things like gold. For thousands of years, gold has been a symbol of wealth and security. Empires rose and fell, currencies came and went, but gold remained constant. People trusted it because it was tangible, it had intrinsic value, and it couldn't just disappear overnight. And it wasn't just gold. Think about land. Owning a piece of land. That's a hard asset that has stood the test of time. It's finite, it's essential, and it can generate income. Back in the day, owning land meant you could grow your own food, build your own shelter, and create a legacy for your family. And guess what? It still holds true today. Then you have real estate. This is a big one, guys, from owning your own home, which by the way is one of the best investments you can make, to investing in rental properties, commercial buildings, or even developing land. Real estate has been a cornerstone of wealth creation for centuries. But it doesn't stop there. Think about commodities. Things like oil, silver, natural gas. These are all essential resources that the world needs to function. They have inherent value because they're essential for energy, industry, and even just basic survival. And as long as people need these things, they'll hold value. Now, you might be thinking, Graham, this is all great, but isn't this stuff really expensive? I don't have millions lying around to buy a gold bar or a skyscraper. And you know what? You're right. Investing in hard assets can require a significant amount of capital up front. But here's the thing. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. You don't need to buy a gold mine to start investing in hard assets. There are ways to get started small and gradually build your portfolio. For example, you can start by investing in gold ETFs, which track the price of gold, or you can look into crowdfunding platforms that allow you to invest in real estate projects with a smaller amount of money. The key takeaway here is that hard assets provide a level of stability and security that other investments simply can't match. They're a hedge against inflation, they have intrinsic value, and they've been a source of wealth creation for as long as civilization has existed. So don't underestimate the power of the oldest trick in the book. Alright, now let's talk about the stock market. This is where things get really interesting and where the potential for massive wealth creation really explodes. Now I know what you might be thinking. The stock market? Isn't that just gambling? And look, I get it. The stock market can seem intimidating, confusing, and even a little bit scary, especially if you're new to investing. But here's the thing. The stock market is, without a doubt, one of the most powerful wealth-building tools ever created. It's created more millionaires than probably any other asset class in history, and for good reason. Because when you buy stocks, you're not just buying a piece of paper, you're buying a piece of a company. You're becoming a part owner of a real business, with the potential to share in its profits and growth. Now, the stock market isn't about getting rich quick. It's not about timing the market or chasing the latest hot stock tip. It's about long-term growth, about investing in companies that you believe in and letting your money compound over time. Think of it like this. Imagine planting a tree. You don't see the growth overnight. It takes time, it takes nurturing, and it takes patience. But over the years, that small tree can grow into a mighty oak, providing shade, shelter, and even fruit. The stock market is very similar. When you invest in a company, you're planting a seed. You're giving that company the capital it needs to grow, to innovate, and to create value. And as that company grows, so too does your investment. It's that simple. Now, there are different ways to invest in the stock market. You can buy individual stocks, which is great if you want to have more control over your portfolio and really dive deep into specific companies. Or you can invest in index funds, which are like baskets of stocks that track a particular market index like the S&P 500. Index funds are a great way to diversify your portfolio and reduce your risk, especially if you're just starting out. The key is to find an investment strategy that aligns with your risk tolerance, your financial goals, and your time horizon. And remember, the stock market is a marathon, not a sprint. There will be ups and downs, bull markets and bear markets. But over the long term, the stock market has always trended upwards. So, buckle up, do your research, and get ready to invest in your future. Chapter 3. Now, we've talked about the old school ways of building wealth with hard assets and the power of the stock market. But if you really want to supercharge your wealth-building journey, you need to look towards the future. And that, my friends, is where alternative investments come in. What do I mean by alternative investments? Well, I'm talking about anything that falls outside the traditional realm of stocks, bonds, and real estate. We're talking about things like cryptocurrency, private equity, venture capital, collectibles, even things like digital real estate in the metaverse. Now, I know what you might be thinking, Graham. This is getting a little bit crazy, isn't it? And look, I get it. Alternative investments can seem risky, volatile, and even a little bit confusing. But here's the thing. The world is changing faster than ever before. Technology is evolving at an exponential rate, and with it comes new and exciting opportunities to build wealth. The truth is, some of the biggest fortunes of the next decade will be made by those who are willing to embrace these new frontiers. Let's start with cryptocurrency. Love it or hate it, cryptocurrency is here to stay. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and thousands of other digital currencies are changing the way we think about money, finance, and even the internet itself. Now, I'm not saying you should go all in on Bitcoin tomorrow, but ignoring the cryptocurrency revolution entirely, that's like burying your head in the sand. Then you have private equity and venture capital. These are investments in privately held companies, startups, and emerging industries. Think of companies like SpaceX, Airbnb, or even Uber before they went public. Now, these investments are typically reserved for high net worth individuals and institutions, but there are ways to get in on the action with smaller amounts of capital through platforms like crowdfunding. And let's not forget about the world of collectibles. From rare sneakers and vintage cars to fine art and even digital collectibles like NFTs, the market for unique and sought-after items is booming. Now, this isn't just about buying something you think is cool and hoping it goes up in value. It's about understanding the market, identifying trends, and investing in assets that have a real story, scarcity, and historical significance. Now, here's the thing about alternative investments. They're not for the faint of heart. They can be volatile, they can be illiquid, and they require a certain level of risk tolerance. But with great risk can come great reward. The key is to do your research, understand what you're investing in, and never invest more than you can afford to lose. Because at the end of the day, the future of wealth isn't just about sticking to the old ways of doing things. It's about being adaptable, embracing innovation, and being open to new and exciting opportunities. So there you have it, the ultimate guide to wealth creation. We've covered everything from the oldest tricks in the book to the future of finance. But here's the thing, none of this matters if you don't take action. You can watch all the videos, read all the books, but at the end of the day, the only way to build wealth is to actually start doing it. The secret? Diversify. The best investors don't just buy stocks, they don't just buy real estate. They mix it all up. Stocks, real estate, gold, businesses, and alternative investments. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Spread your risk, explore different asset classes, and find what works best for you. And remember, the most important factor in all of this is time. The sooner you start, the more time your money has to compound and grow. So, what are you waiting for? Which one of these wealth-building strategies are you most excited about? Let me know in the comments below, and let's start building your financial empire together.